Hello, my name's Becky from Sow Much More, and thank you for tuning into the second episode of my Top 5 Fridays. Today I want to talk to you about edible flowers, and I've teamed up with the absolutely fantastically talented Deb from Deliciously Raw Kitchen. Deb is a plant-based raw food chef, and she teaches as well. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, she's definitely the person to talk to. So you can go and have a course at her school, or you can go and have a look on her website. She's got loads of recipes, loads of information on how to really use the flavours and the plants. So she's given me a little snippet of information about each of the plants that I've chosen. And I'll put a little bit more about this on my blog as well. So I've whittled it down to my top 5 favourite edible flowers. However, there are loads of flowers out there that you can eat, and it's really up to you to go and find out more about them and see what you've got in your garden that you could add to your salads and to your puddings. I should also add that there are flowers out there that you cannot eat, so it's I feel it's my civic duty just to mention, don't eat anything unless you know what it is. So the reason I've chosen these 5 is because they are good for pollinators, they're easy to grow from seed, most of them, and they are great in your garden. So they're going to make really good additions to your garden, your vegetable patch, and they're edible. So there's lots of things to love about these plants. Number 5 on my list is Calendula, and the reason I'm showing you seed packets instead of flowers is because all of my Calendula flowers have gone over now. There are still a few around, but now is a really good time to get them planted for next year. So Calendula is absolutely wonderful for pollinators. It's got lovely bright bold yellows and oranges that really adds a splash of colour to your vegetable patch. And it's got medicinal properties as well. So the cherry on the top really is that it's edible. And apparently, I'm told by Deb, that Calendula is sometimes referred to as poor man's saffron because it's got that sort of quality about it. So it's got a sort of slightly citrusy, slightly peppery, almost slightly nutmeggy flavour to it. And apparently it works really well in Persian and Middle Eastern dishes. It's a really tasty thing to add, and it gives you that splash of colour. So that's number 5 on my list, Calendula. For number 4 on my list, we're going to have to head out into my garden, so come along. Okay, so number 4 on my list is Nasturtiums, and Nasturtiums range in colour from yellow to really dark red and pretty much everything in between, and they make for really good companion plants. So you can plant them next to squash to prevent squash beetles, and they're really good as acting as an aphid trap. So if you notice that they're covered in aphids, that's fine, because they're basically deterring them from your other plants by being so tasty themselves. Now, nasturtiums have a really strong peppery flavour, so not only do they add a really big splash of colour to your food, but they also add a really big kick of flavour, and they kind of can be used in the same way as rocket. They can even be stuffed, even though they're not actually that big. Better person, again, to explain it would be Deb, so if you head over to her website, she'll have some more recipes where you can use nasturtium. But I've put it as number 4 because it's absolutely fabulously easy to grow in the garden. It looks great and it tastes great. So number 3 on my list is Porridge, and the reason I'm showing you a tiny little sprig instead of a full plant is because most of my plants have gone over, and by gone over I mean literally fallen and crushed half of my other crops. So Porridge is really great because it self-seeds everywhere, so think carefully before you plant it in your garden because you won't be able to get rid of it. Same with nasturtiums, actually, come to think of it. But it's really beautiful. The flowers are so delicate, really pretty little flowers. You can get them in blue, pink, purple, white, and all sorts of combinations of those things as well. Now, you can actually eat the leaves, the stems, and the flowers on this, so that's a real bonus. The flowers are very delicate. You can see just from holding this that one of the flowers has come off, and I won't dare let it go to waste because they are absolutely delightful. They have a really nice subtle sweetness to them, and they're very, very delicate, so they kind of melt in your mouth a little bit. They're really delightful. So because they don't have a lot of flavour to them, they can be used in a whole range of dishes, but then best off as a garnish because they are very delicate. You can freeze them into ice cubes, you can add them to drinks, you can pop them on top of a salad, but they don't last particularly long, but they are absolutely fabulously tasty and very, very pretty. And it's definitely a bonus that you can eat the stems and the leaves too, although you might want to peel the stems first because they're very furry. Again, head over to Deb's website for some more recipes. Number 2 on my list is lemon verbena. And the reason I've chosen lemon verbena is because it's absolutely delicious. It's really lemony. A little goes a long way. You can eat the leaves and the flowers. As you can see, mine's not currently in flower, but when it is in flower, it's really beautiful and it's great for pollinators as well. You can eat most of the verbena flowers, I think, if not all, but some of them don't taste great and some of them are quite bitter. But lemon verbena is really tasty, and as the name suggests, very lemony. And Deb tells me that it's excellent in Thai and Indonesian inspired dishes. And if you want more recipes including lemon verbena, obviously head over to Deb's website. So that's number 2 on my list, lemon verbena. And number 1 on my list, my absolute all-time favourite edible flower, is violas. And these are my violas here. They are absolutely beautiful. A lot of people grow them in their garden simply because they are absolutely gorgeous. They deliver loads of colour, they have a really long flowering season, they're super easy to grow, and they have this beautiful cascading habit, if you can get them to do it, where they will just drape over anything and cover it with colour. It's really lovely. In terms of flavour, they don't pack a lot of flavour, which actually makes them quite good as an edible flower because they can add that really pretty kick to your dishes without changing the flavour too much. So you can add them to sweet or savoury dishes, use them on top of a dessert so that it's a nice little bit of pizzazz, or chuck them on top of a salad. Either way, they will do absolutely great for you, and they are so pretty, they are definitely worth growing. And that's my absolute favourite edible flower. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you'll tune in again next week for my next Top 5 Fridays. Thank you, bye!